Welcome back to Normal Baseball. Today we got another Will Be in our Will Be series. We got the San Francisco Giants. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Normal Baseball. I'm Alex, Normal Dog. That's Lewis. Today we got another Will Be in our Will Be series. We got the San Francisco Giants.
The 107 win.
Your league leader in wins for 2021, San Francisco Giants. Round of applause for the 107 win Giants. All right. So, the Giants made some moves this offseason. We're here to talk about them, and we're here to talk about how we think they're going to do next year. Obviously, terrible loss to the 2021 season. Michael Conforto, check swing, the infamous. He did not go, although they did say he did.
Michael Conforto.
Wilmer Flores. My bad. Wilmer Flores. I knew it was a former Met. Wilmer Flores, check swing. He did not go, but they said he did. Tough way to end the season.
Heartbreaking.
But yeah, you still won 107 games, led the league, beat the Dodgers. Not in the playoffs, but in the standings. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, we'll just go over their offseason additions really quick, then we'll kind of talk about what's going on. Brandon Belt accepted the qualifying offer. Brandon Belt, lifetime Giant. Anthony Descalfani signed a 3-year contract. Let's see, what else happened? Alex Cobb signed a 2-year contract. Alex Wood signed a 2-year contract. Let's see. Jake Junis signed a 1-year contract. Now we get into the big ones. Carlos Rodon signed a 2-year contract worth, I believe, $55 million.
I believe so.
Or somewhere around that. It was a lot of money. Jock Peterson, 1 year. Huge. Darren Ruff, 2-year extension. Just basically took out his arbitration years. And that's it. That's all the additions they made to the team for this year.
Yeah. Very, very... I don't want to call them great acquisitions, but they're just filling in gaps. Obviously, the biggest gap that they have, or that everyone's looking at, is their catcher position. With seeing Buster Posey retire this year, which hats
that was
off
the big one
to a good career. But besides that, I mean, getting Jock, right, replacing Kevin Gausman, who you lost, with Carlos Rodon is a good play. And all in all, I mean, the Giants look as if they're going to just be sort of the same team, which is pretty cool for the most part. I don't know if they can repeat their success, but their just team, like the way their team is built, seems to be just about the same.
Yeah, their overall team, like you said, is the same. They added Jock Peterson, which is a big add. That rotation is insanely good. They have one of the best bullpens in baseball. It's hard to see how they are going to be bad this year. The only, of course, giant hit they took was Posey retiring, and he's being replaced by, it seems to be Joey Bart, who he's played 35 games in his career through 2020. Obviously, Posey was not playing in 2020 anyway, or he was injured or something like that. And then he played 2 games last year, but in those games, he 239, 612 OPS. So not great. Obviously, they are going to take a hit. You can't get a guy, potential Hall of Famer, like Buster Posey leaving and then get the same kind of value back in the next player. It's just not going to happen. But that's the only big hit they took. And everything else they kind of added in.
Which is very... very exciting to see, considering how these Giants really just went out and put on a show last season. I mean, beating out the Dodgers for what everyone considered the Dodgers division. And I think the tools that they have, if everybody can perform the same way as they did last season or close to it, we're going to see another tight division race.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm looking forward to it because I think more people are underestimating the Giants again this year. Because obviously they lost Posey, and it seemed like last year they really weren't supposed to be where they got. But I wouldn't underestimate them this year. I mean, their over-under in wins is 84.5. And, I mean, I'm just going to come out right now and take the over.
Yeah, I think I'm going to also take the over on that.
That just seems far too low for a team that didn't lose much and won 107 games last season.
Yeah.
Posey didn't win them. Posey himself didn't win them. What is that?
30-something games or whatever, 20-something?
25 games or 22 games. Posey himself did not win them 22 games.
Yeah, as great as a player Buster Posey was, obviously retired, I don't think that he equated to that amount of wins for the team.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
There's absolutely no way.
So I don't think it's fair to them for a team that their rotation got better, their bullpen got better.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to a team that just won 107 games to put their over-under at 84.5. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
It's another, like you said, it's just another year where they're going to get doubted, which is crazy to think after the season that they just had.
Yeah. I didn't know you were done. So we talked about their pitching staff. I kind of want to talk about more about their pitching staff because that's what they kind of worked on the most this year. They got Carlos Rodon. They re-signed Desclafani. What else did they do? Here, let me read their projected rotation, if I can get to it. Okay, so they got Logan Webb, Carlos Rodon, Anthony Desclafani, Alex Wood, and Alex Cobb, which by no stretch is a bad rotation whatsoever.
No, not at all. I think that if everybody plays up to the performance level that is expected out of them after the last season, then it is a very, very solid rotation for this season.
Yeah, and they also have Matthew Boyd, which I did not know until just now. Apparently they signed him as a free agent.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Wait, no, this can't be right. I don't know what I'm reading right now because it says free agent Detroit, March 22.
Matthew Boyd currently plays for the Giants.
Wow, I actually didn't know that, but he's on the 60-day IL, so not to worry about for a little bit. But Carlos Rodon, I find this interesting. He got so much money considering he's had one good year. I mean, $44 million, $22 million a year for a guy who, up until last year, has never had an ERA under 3.75.
Yeah, he really... the Giants are really taking a very big gamble, which, gambling is not good, obviously, especially in baseball.
No, not in any sport, it's not good. I mean, you could lose potentially anywhere from $15 to $150 on any given day.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah. But they did it, and hopefully he pans out for them, because I'd really like to see that.
Yeah, if adding a pitcher like what Carlos Rodon did last season can really help the Giants, count me in for it. Not to say that I'm rooting against any team, but I'd like to see the Giants really succeed.
Yeah, me too, especially in that tough division with you got the Padres, the Dodgers, and even the
Rockies.
The Rockies are going to be a pesky team.
The Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks are the only team in that division that I wouldn't. When you play them, you're like, if we don't sweep, then we're going to be disappointed. The Rockies, they do have a sneakily decent team.
Yeah, somewhat.
It's more of a matter of, if you sweep them, it's good. It's good if you sweep them, but if you don't, then it's like, well, we can understand why we didn't. The only thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get swept by any teams, by anyone.
Any team that does not play exactly on the West Coast.
Yeah.
In that division.
If you get swept by the Dodgers and all the games are close, I wouldn't be too upset about it. If all the games are blowouts, obviously not good. Same thing with the Padres. But if you get swept by the Rockies or the Diamondbacks, it's kind of like that shouldn't have happened.
Hey, what happened there?
Yeah,
You want to talk us through that issue?
Yeah.
Yeah. All in all, I'm gonna go ahead and say that their lineup is something that teams are definitely not going to be scared of in the beginning of the season until you see them really start to ramp it up. Because if Brandon Belt can get it together for one more season, Brandon Crawford can put it together as well as he did last season, and I mean if Jock plays like second half of last year, Jock Peterson, that will be a lot of fun. And obviously their pitching will do their part, as we said.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Brandon Crawford.
Very high on Brandon Crawford.
Insanely good last year. Was kind of almost their best player, or at least had the most important season for them because he really was the veteran and he played insanely good. So
yeah, he played out of his mind. Did he competed for a Gold Glove?
He won a Gold Glove.
Yeah, he won it. Yes, he did win it, which was crazy. And of course, that's a very, very big moment for Brandon Crawford. He also, I don't want to say that he had, sneaky power this year, but his bat was really active this year.
Well, yeah,
he played very, very well.
He had close to a 900 OPS, which for Brandon Crawford is insane. He's never really done that in his career. He kind of found a new stroke. And, I mean, a 900 OPS in 138 games for a guy who isn't known to do that is pretty crazy. He had his career high in home runs at 24. It's good to see. It's really good to see. He had career highs in RBIs, which is where I wanted to go to next. I mean, do you think he'll continue that kind of trend? And I set the over under at 84.5 RBIs. Do you think he'll reach that this year?
Yeah, I'll take the over.
All right.
84.5.
Yeah, so he'd have to get 80
RBIs. Yeah, I'm in for it.
All right. I'm going to go under just because I don't think he's going to have such... He can't... In my mind, it's very improbable that he's going to have another monster year like he did last year.
Yeah, but I'm in for it to happen again.
I'm not saying I'm not in for it to happen again, but I'm just saying he had the best season of his career at 34 years old. So now he's 35. I don't know. If he does it again, great.
They don't call it a late Pete for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But Brandon Crawford, 6.1 WAR last season. I mean, he was great for that team. And if they want to do something again this year, they're going to need him, big time.
Yeah, without a doubt, Brandon Crawford will need to be very, very clutch for them as well as he was last year. Brandon Belt, I like a lot. I like the idea of Mike Yastrzemski too. Is that crazy to say?
No.
I think he's going to be one of those guys that come the All-Star game, his name is getting thrown around a lot, and if he makes it, he kind of puts him on the map.
If he would make it, that would be great.
Obviously, the NL is just loaded with outfielders, so I think it'll be hard for him to do, but he could do it.
Oh, he 100% could do it. My question is so let me just look up Yaz's stats really quick. So he's been good at stretches, and his name's been in the news for a whiles at a time. But overall in his career, he hasn't been insane. So I want to know, do you think? So last year he had a 768 OPS, which is not bad.
Not at all.
My question is, do you think he'll have over a 800 OPS next season?
Ooh. Under. But I don't think it'll be by much. Give me in that 780 range, which will be good for Mike Yastrzemski.
Seems like you're very occupied. He's watching a Celtics game. All right. Well, it seemed like you were very occupied. I'm going to take the over. I mean, he had a 968 OPS in 54 games in 2020. So if he can go back to that, Mike Yastrzemski, he'll definitely be something to watch, like you said. I'm looking forward to it because we did see. I remember in 2020 when he was going off and he was just seeming to hits every game. He was big time, and if he can get back to those numbers, I mean, even last year he wasn't terrible. He was injured for a little bit, 139 games, 25 homers, 28 doubles. But I do think on a good year, if he has a year like 2020, but over the span of a full season, he could really pick it up and have some big numbers.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Big numbers and Mike Yastrzemski. It sounds something so weird to say because we haven't seen like all that much of him, like over a length of time. But I feel like he's the type of guy that can put up the big numbers.
Oh, 100%.
When it comes down to it.
100%. Moving on, we haven't really talked about their bullpen at all, and their bullpen is the best, one of the best, if not the best bullpens in baseball. They aren't high with strikeouts, but they were the best bullpen in terms of ERA, best in terms of WHIP, best in walks per nine, third in hits per nine, fifth in home runs per nine. They were 28th in strikeouts per nine. They get it done without strikeouts, which is kind of unorthodox in today's day and age.
Yeah, a bunch of pitch-to-contact relievers is like the cardinal sin of most bullpens nowadays, but
100%.
It seems like the pitchers that they have coming out, I mean, who is it? Trevor Rogers and Camilo Duvall, the sidearm guys, who really...
Yeah, Duvall.
Yeah.
Duvall was insanely good for them last year.
I feel like the pitching staff being a pitch-to-contact get outs type of pitching staff coming out of that bullpen is something that a lot of teams look forward to because they'll be like, oh, well, I'm not going to be the guy who grounds out on these pitches. And it kind of gives them a little bit of a confidence boost before stepping into the plate.
Yeah, you're right. Jake McGee, Camilo Duvall, Tyler Rogers. Tyler Rogers is good, really good.
I said Trevor Rogers. Yeah, I meant Tyler Rogers.
There is a Trevor Rogers, but
yeah.
He's on the Marlins. Jacob Junis, Jose Alvarez, Zach Little, or Littell, Tyler Beatty. It's a good staff. It's a really good pitching staff.
Yeah, without a doubt. I like the idea of there not being a real designated full-blown closer in this bullpen, just because.
Well, yeah,
there are guys like everybody can go out there and get you 6 outs if you really need it.
Yeah, they have 3 listed closers: Jake McGee, Camilo Duvall, and Tyler Rogers. So 3 listed closers. They have options. Yeah, they have a lot of options, and they can go to either one at any night. I mean, Jake McGee's a lefty. Camilo Duvall and Tyler Rogers are both righties. So it's not like they just have 3 righties. They have a lefty, and they can switch it up. There's a lot of diversity in this lineup, and even the actual hitting lineup, there's 6 lefties, 3 righties, but they currently have a righty injured in Evan Longoria, which is big. Longo's going to be out for a few weeks, couple months, I think, something like that.
Well, let's just say we hope it's not too long. How does that sound?
Well, no, but I read that that's how long it's
going to be. No. I know.
He needed finger surgery, which is like kind of the worst injury to get, because it's like
it's so minuscule, but it can really affect him.
Yeah.
So
and then Lamont Wade is currently on the IL. He was great for them last year. He had knee inflammation, so hopefully that shouldn't be too long of an injury. That's not really that bad.
Yeah, I hope not.
Lamont Wade was clutch king, late night Lamont.
I think he had the best batting average in clutch situations.
Here, I can pull up his clutch stats if you want to just
please
talk about something while I do this. 2021, his clutch stats. Here we go. So in clutch situations, which is 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 31 plate appearances, had a 1.373 OPS.
Oh my god! Yeah.
In 31 plate appearances with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
If you cannot tell,
the man got it done.
Yeah, he can't. The pressure does not get to him.
On late and close situations, he had 55 plate appearances, a 9.55 OPS, with 15 RBIs, a homer, doubles, 17 hits. In tie games, he had an 8.47 OPS. Within 1 run, he had a 9.01 OPS. Within 2 runs, 8.11. 3 runs, 837, 4 runs, 835, and he was late night Lamont for a reason. I mean, he was insane.
He was insane, to say the very least about him. He really knew how to get it done, which was so crucial for those 107 wins. I mean, all of them, which sadly, obviously, it was cut short, like we said earlier. But I'm hoping that guy can come back.
What do you mean cut short?
Obviously, did they win the World Series?
Oh, I mean, you meant their season. I thought you meant his season.
No. Just in general, the season got cut short for the Giants.
season did get really cut short, and it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
It stinks. I would have loved to see them in the further into the playoffs. I mean, if that team against the Braves in a 7-game series would have probably been one of the most entertaining things you could ever see.
Both teams playing on jet lag, traveling across the country.
That would have been crazy. And yeah. There's not much else to this team.
They're so solid from top to bottom that it's hard to find any cracks in their armor.
There is none. That's the thing.
Obviously, the one thing that people will point to is the age of some of their players, like Brandon Crawford, like Evan Longoria when he comes back. But they both just had pretty good seasons for when they were on the field. So
same thing with Brandon Belt. I mean, they've had good seasons. It's really. This team is really dependent on the veteran guys like Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, Evan Longoria when he comes back. And if those players do good, there's no reason that this team shouldn't be doing good as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. This team is set up to, have that Cinderella-esque run again, as they did last year. And hopefully it's more than just a first-round exit for them.
I agree. And I think that's really it. Team MVP. That's the only thing left.
Team MVP. You know what? Since we touched on him, give me Mike Yastrzemski.
Yastrzemski, okay. I'm gonna go with. This is tough because there's a lot of guys on this team who I like. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with
Who's he gonna go with?
Jock Peterson.
Jock Peterson, the Pearl Man.
We didn't talk about too much. I think he's gonna hit a bunch of balls into the water. I think he's gonna be the guy that keeps them going.
Into McCovey Cove.
But yeah.
That'll be I like that idea. Jock hitting balls into McCovey Cove.
Yeah, and then Carlos Rodon, we didn't do this one. Over under 2.49 ERA.
2.49 over.
I mean, he had under before last year.
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
Yeah, so am I. There's no way I'm taking the under on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that'll do it for this.
This was a good episode.
It was a fun episode. I like the Giants.
The Giants are a very entertaining team. Hopefully they can do it again.
Clap it up for the Giants. As always, I will be demonstrating how Brandon Crawford fields a baseball.
Yes, the usual. Oh my God, what a throw.
That was a bad throw, right?
You missed your target. The hop, too. That's clean. Let's go Giants.
Let's go Giants. And this has been another normal baseball team projection.
Oh, the Giants will be in third place.
The Giants in 2022 will be in
third place. I thought about it first.
Third place. You heard it here first. And we will see you in the next one, which should be the Boston Red Sox. And